Hi there! In this mini-series, I'll be quickly, and as effortlessly as possible, guiding you through how to get all gold licenses in every Gran Turismo 7 license test, from National B all the way through to Super. In this video, we're tackling International A. I'll break down everything I'm doing for you in pieces so that you understand how to best tackle each test. This guide will be focusing on the PS5 controller, which is presumably what most people will be using for Gran Turismo 7. The same principles apply if you're using a wheel and pedals, except they'll be a lot more straightforward. Now, I know you're keen to get going, and perhaps even stuck on one or more of these tests and want to get straight into it, so we'll move on shortly. But very quickly, I am compelled by the YouTube creator Hidden Code of Conduct to remind you that this will indeed be a mini-series coming out very rapidly over this weekend, so make sure you're subscribed to get notified of when we release the other license test tutorials in the very, very near future. Now, let's get it. Before we get to the license tests, we have to make sure that our assists are set up to give us our best chance. With a wheel and pedal set, I would recommend turning all assists off. However, for those of us doing these tests on the PS5 controller, I'd recommend the following settings. Steer with the left stick, and accelerate with the left and right triggers for maximum control. Set shifting to manual so that you can optimize your torque band and engine braking. Traction control at 1, ABS on weak, and steering assist on weak. If you find the game is steering you off the track without your permission, feel free to disable steering assists entirely. Just know that you'll have to finesse the left stick a lot more in order to keep the car's back end in check. Finally, make sure to watch these two bars as you analyze the runs. The right bar tells you how much throttle I'm applying, while the left bar tells you how much brake I'm applying. In this test, we take the distinctive first corner of Suzuka, forcing us to learn how to connect two corners together, all while braking. Brake at the 100 board and shift down to 4th. As you turn into the corner, gently let off the brake. Brake again in a straight line and shift down to 3rd, while letting off the brake lightly and rotating the car toward the second apex. Let the car coast in 3rd until you cross the apex. Get on the throttle gentle and late, only when you're facing down the exit curb. Use the runoff and cross the finish line. Let's see that again. In this test, we have to connect 4 corners in one fluid motion. Accelerate down the left side of the road and brake at the 200 board, downshifting rapidly to 2nd gear. Lift off the brake gently as you turn right and gently dab the throttle to connect the line for the next 2 corners. Flat out across the last apex to ensure a good run down toward the finish line. Let's see that again. Back on the dirt. This test takes place in a proper rally car. Be careful over the jump, it will destabilize the car. Wrangle the car when it lands and then throw it into the right turn. Use the handbrake if necessary to rotate the rear. Head toward the outside clipping point and brake hard. Lift the brake while turning in. This will keep the weight on the front wheels and keep you rotating. Start dabbing the throttle once the car is rotated to control the drift. Point the car to the left, then dab on the brake to throw it right to get the rear end rotating. Complete it with a touch of handbrake if the car still isn't rotating enough. Get onto the throttle hard once you get into the compression to keep the car rotating. Flat out and maximize your line over the left apex so that you can use all of the track on exit. You can lightly touch the barrier without being disqualified. Let's see that again. This test is about stringing together consecutive corners without losing too much speed. Weight transfer is critical. Brake at the second black board, shifting down to second, then turning the car in over the apex. Accelerate out toward the middle of the track, then dab on the brake to help you rotate the nose and right while downshifting to first gear to fight the understeer. Gradually on the power once you're facing down the track again. Aim toward the rightmost clipping point. Lightly brake and turn left where the lines cross, shifting down to second gear. Accelerate over the apex curb, exiting on the left side of the track. Brake hard and shift down to second, turning the car in, then accelerating past the apex in order to keep the rear end rotating to beat the understeer. You can use more of the track than I did on exit. Let's see that again. This is, without doubt, the single hardest license test so far on a controller. Try to be patient, as the finesse required for gold here might take some time to build up. Cut the line and aim toward the left clipping point. Brake at the first Goodyear board, while turning in and lifting off the brake gradually. Flat out with the throttle and maintain the speed. Lift once you get to the right clipping point and coast the car left. Back on the throttle to stabilize it in the middle of the track, then lift again before turning right. Feather the throttle to keep the car going along the desired line. Tap the brake and turn left once you reach the wide clipping points, then accelerate hard over the outside curbing, using the anti-cut to stabilize you. Keep the exit line as straight as possible to maximize speed. This might take quite some time to connect, so be patient and let the process develop. In the meantime, let's watch it again. This test is about controlling weight transfer over drastic elevation changes at the iconic corkscrew. Brake in a straight line at the foreboard, shifting down to first gear and turning in over the corkscrew. Set up a line so that you can exit straight. Turn right the moment you cross the apex and get on the throttle gently so you don't lose the rear. Once you get to the right clipping point, tap the brake and turn left, letting the car coast downhill with very minor throttle to control the line. Heavy on the throttle after crossing the apex to get a good run over the finish. Now let's watch that again. This test is about cornering in a mid-engine car on a wet Tsukuba. Once you reach the wide clipping point, tap the brake, turn right and shift down to second. Be very patient to get on the throttle so that you don't go wide. You can short shift in order to stop the rears from spinning. Now just follow the racing line as well as possible without spinning. Brake midway down the curb on the left, shifting down to first and rotating the car over the hairpin. As you can see, even less than ideal runs can still be gold. Let's see that again. This test is about connecting a bunch of corners and tricky situations requiring some finesse. Aim for the left apex and brake the moment you get over the crest. Keep braking downhill while shifting down to first, then rotating in. You can get the sausage curb to go underneath the middle of your car, thus not destabilizing it. On the power hard as we try to create a straight line out of the S's. You can go quite aggressive over the curbing. Dab the brake once you reach the right curbing and downshift, using the weight transfer to break the rear free, and then get on the throttle to keep the car rotating over the finish line. Let's see that again. Like the last test, but in a far better balanced race car. We go flat out over the first turn, aiming toward the left side of the track to set up T2. Once the car is stable, lift and turn into the right, then immediately accelerate again to go over the apex. Lift again at the crest, then downshift and go hard over the anti-car curbing on the left. Brake while hugging the curbing on the inside to the right, then accelerate out. Hard brake once you get to the tyre marks and turn right while downshifting, then get back on the throttle to control the descent. Flat out over the next section. Braking hard once you get on the crest and shifting down to third while hugging the inside curb. Aim toward the wide clipping point and brake hard midway down the bridge, then turn left. Despite understeering on the demonstration, it's still a comfortable gold. Let's see that again. final test combines an AMG with a good chunk of Sector 3 of the Nordschleife. All the basic tips to driving this section of the Nordschleife apply, it's just a matter of doing so with finesse on the controller, so it may take a bit of time to connect. Lift the throttle and turn left over the apex. Get on the throttle again immediately. Aim toward the rightmost curb. Just before reaching the curb, hit the brakes and shift down to third, then turn left, hugging the inside. Finesse the controls, then gently accelerate out to the left. Brake hard on the crest and shift down to second. Flat out now, heading toward Wipperman. Aim toward the left clipping point, then dab the brake and turn in while coasting, stabilizing the car with throttle, a dab of brake to turn in, and then accelerating hard over the inside curb. Brake hard in the compression, shift down and hug the inside to the right. Be careful of the camber shift on the outside over the crest. Flat out toward the wide clipping points, hard on the brakes and down to third while coasting left. On the throttle, midway through the turn, gently, coming out on the left, then braking hard and turning right downhill. Hard on the throttle through Brunchen, then on the brakes before the curbing ends, and a downshift to third. Try to get on the throttle early to secure a good finish over the line. And that's one of the best sections of the mighty Nordschleife. Let's see it again. And there we are, all 10 International A Gold license tests, all done on a controller. I believe in you. Get out there and get it done. Make sure to subscribe to get notified of the other license test gold tutorials getting posted very shortly. Let me know what you thought down below or if there's anything else you'd like to see. If there are any basic racing concepts in this you didn't understand, I'm going to link a video on the screen where I guide you through the elementary basics of sim racing and racecraft. That might help you out if you're completely new to all of this. So until the final super license, I'll see you all later.